Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Northampton Township Board of Supervisors meeting for Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. Call the meeting to order. I'm going to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight's moment of silence we'll be thinking about Temple Police Officer Chris Fitzgerald, who was senselessly killed in the line of duty on Saturday. And you'll notice we have a blue light lit in his honor. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Originally, we were supposed to have State Senator Frank Ferry come to the meeting tonight and give us a presentation. He got called away to an important meeting and wasn't able to make it tonight, but we will have him in a future meeting. But I would like to recognize tonight Paul Brady, president of Whitetail Disposal. Come on, Paul. And Paul's just here to give us a little status update and a state of the state. So nice to see you again, Paul. If you wouldn't mind just going to the microphone. Thank you.
Good to see everyone this evening. Yeah, I'm here to answer maybe any questions that have arisen as you talk with the residents, give you a quick update, and then we'll have a quarterly report for you in April for the first full quarter, January, February, March. We've had 817 requests for additional 95-gallon trash cans, so that seems to be working pretty well. We were expecting somewhere in the area of about 1,200 or 1,300, so we're on pace for that. Switch outs and switching from 95 trash to 65, 135, and then on the recycle side, equipment is in. I checked it over in the parking lot. So of that right now, there are 225 requests, of which 180 have been delivered, and so the rest will be delivered here probably tomorrow. So we had to wait for the equipment. We just got it on, I think it was Monday. So we're getting it out there. On the email side, the tech side, we've had over 1,600 people request and register for the emails and provide their phone numbers. So that's working pretty well, almost at 20%. And then, you know, it's pretty much fine tuning everything, figuring out the little quirks, getting those fixed, and we should have that finished by St. Pat's Day. So now, does anyone have any questions? Anything that I need to address?
I have one question.
Sure.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Paul, for coming to the meeting tonight. And I think the feedback is getting better and better. You know, change is always a little different, but what is it? Can you repeat again for everybody's benefit the mechanism for getting another trash can? That seems to be the only question I'm getting from residents. Is it best to contact you or contact the township? Or
No, directly to us.
Directly to you, okay.
They can do it via email.
Okay.
Or they can call.
Okay.
And they'll put them right on the list, arrange for it, and we've been delivering that equipment out same week.
Okay.
So we have a truck ready to go by, and like I said, all that'll work through the system as we get into March through March.
And what is the fee for that? There's an additional fee for that, or?
I think it's $80.
$80, okay.
Can, yes.
And they can-
One-time fee of
It's a
$80.
One-time fee
It's
of
a
$80.
lease, right? We
It's a
call
lease.
it a lease. So
Okay.
for $80 one-time fee, they're able to use that second container.
Okay, and that's a lifetime lease for $80?
As long as they're at the home, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good.
Yeah, and
Thank
then
you.
if they by chance move, I don't think we've had that situation yet, but the township then can claim it back if they so choose.
Okay.
Paul, I had a question. I think one of the things that we hear a lot about is the amount of cardboard that households have now, especially since COVID, Amazon, and all the other deliveries are every day. And we did not have this amount of cardboard 5 years ago that we have today. Do you have any advice for the residents on really how to handle the amount of cardboard? I think what they're most used to is they either stack the boxes together or flatten them, and they had put them out in prior years, and they were just picked up. Now they actually need to be in a can, and there's some distress about the amount of cardboard to get into the cans.
Actually, we're going to have to clarify that. The simple rule is a broken down box is recycling. A box that isn't broken down is trash. And we recognize that using the recycled toters, even at my house, the chewy boxes, you can't get those in those recycled toters, or they get stuck, or they can cause additional issues. But it's hard to get the full use of that. So what we just recommend is breaking the boxes down and bundling them. And then they will pick up that bundle if they set it right next to that recycled toter.
Okay.
So we need to get that word out a little bit, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that's new news, I think. I think we had not heard that.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a good thing.
Yeah.
We need to get that information out, and maybe we can make sure that we get that out. And if you have some pictures of what you think a proper bundle would look like and broken down cardboard that will be picked up, maybe if you can share them with us and we can get them on our website as examples.
Absolutely. And on that, we've already started working on some videos.
Great.
Some things to get, and we'll cover that in one of the videos.
That's fantastic, because I think that has been a stress point. Just folks want to do the right thing, but there is just an enormous amount of cardboard that we didn't have in the past.
Yeah, and that's why we don't, if they can get in the toter, fine. But if they have that, larger amount, or, Amazon delivered it like my house 3 times a day, every day, then that has to be bundled up.
So just so I'm clear, that when the recycling truck comes, they'll empty the recycling toter, but if there is a bundle of cardboard next to it, the driver will get out and throw it in.
He
Okay.
will step out unless he's, for whatever reason, has the follow truck come by and get it.
However it's done, but
Correct, yeah.
that's great. Okay, that's really good news.
Yeah.
That's really
And I'm
good
sorry,
news.
we'll get that cleared up.
Yeah.
As a follow-up, and thank you for coming tonight, with what do you recommend the bundle be tied? I assume you don't want tape.
Yeah, you can use the twine. A lot of
Okay.
people use the
That's
twine and
acceptable.
tie it. Any way is fine. Even tape is fine.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's cardboard. It's come down in price, but cardboard of all the commodities, there's a demand for that cardboard. So when we get it to the recycle facility, they're happy to see it.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. That was probably the important clarification of the night. I think
Yeah,
that's the
that's
stress
great.
point.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm available if you need me.
Sure.
And, for any follow-up questions, if I walk out and you think of it, just reach out, text me, or give me a call. All right?
Thank you
Again,
so
we're
much
very
for coming.
excited. We love being in Northampton, and we'll continue to work hard and do a good job. All right?
Thank you.
Thank
Paul.
you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
very much for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
I just wanted to make mention that there's 2 opportunities for public comment this evening. The first opportunity would be next, and that is limited to agenda items only, and you can sign up in the back of the room, and I'll call you forward. And then there's a second opportunity for public comment at the end, which is open public comment. And also, please sign up, and I'll recognize you. Is there any public comment for this evening? Okay, thank you, Lisa. So we'll move to consent items. Supervisor Paula Gasper is unable to be here tonight. She sends her apologies, and she is our secretary for approval of the minutes. Our assistant secretary, Bob Pellegrino.
There are minutes in the board packet for the meeting of January 25, 2023, included on the consent agenda. I recommend they be approved.
Thank you, Bob. Accounts payable, Kim?
Yes, I have the bills list for February 8th, 2023. Total all funds, $1,426,622.97. And then I have the bills list for February 22nd, 2023. Total all funds, $814,966.48.
Thank you, Kim. I accept a motion to pass the consent items as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have no public hearings or no unfinished business this evening. We're going to move on to new business, and we have consideration of approval of a preliminary final plan of subdivision and land development on Chestnut Drive. I'll turn it over to Barry.
Sure, thanks, Adam. So we have the applicant coming up to the table. If you could just please introduce yourselves and
Yeah, good evening. Joe Blackburn from Whistler Pearlstein, here on behalf of the applicants, Robert and Barbara Scanlan. To my right is Tom Borghetti from Holmes Cunningham, the project engineer. We're here this evening with respect to the property located at 140 Chestnut Drive. Subject property consists of approximately 4.75 acres and is located in the R2 single-family zoning district. As presently improved and constituted today, the property maintains a single-family detached dwelling as well as an approximately 2,900 square foot detached garage as shown on the plan before you. Presently, both of those structures take access from Chestnut Drive from a single driveway, that being the one located plan right. Applicant is proposing, as a part of tonight's application, to subdivide that property into an approximately 2.78 and an approximately 1.9 acre parcel, the larger of which would house the existing single-family detached dwelling, and the smaller of which would maintain the existing detached garage, which would be converted to a new residential dwelling, with the intent being that Mr. and Mrs. Scanlan would relocate to the quote-unquote new dwelling, and their daughter and her family taking residence in the existing single-family dwelling. As you can see on the plan, the converted garage would be serviced by a new driveway, approximately 12 feet in width. I am pleased to report that we are in receipt of the Township Engineer's February 2nd review letter, and all items contained therein will comply, with the exception of a few waivers, which I'm happy to review if the board would like. But suffice it to say that they are largely in order to accommodate the preservation of the existing street frontage, not installing sidewalks and certain street lighting, which is not prevalent throughout that neighborhood, and also to address certain existing foliage along that frontage. As you can see, despite it being approximately 5-acre lot, we are kind of we do have a little bit of a narrow frontage, which is improved improved with some rather mature street trees, which we're looking to preserve. So other than that, as I said, the items contained in the Gilmore review letter and all the other township professional review letters will comply. The Scanlans have been residents of the township for 25 years, at this location for a little over 10. And they're looking to continue to reside there and remain township residents, and have the benefit of their growing family right next door. So some free childcare. As a young family myself, I can appreciate that. So can certainly make myself, Mr. Borghetti, or the Scanlans available for any questions that the board may have.
Good. So for the board's benefit, the applicant has been referred to the Planning Commission. It's a very minor subdivision. Basically, there's an oversized lot in an R2 development. So they're starting off with close to 5 acres. And R2 would be, 2 houses per acre. And they're basically subdividing it to allow for, a second family member to reside in the property. It is a separate parcel, so going forward, it could be sold separately. But the current plan is to keep it, within the family. So if I could, I'd like to move for a motion, Adam.
Please.
Sure. So I move for approval of the Scanlan subdivision, preliminary final plan of subdivision and land development, SLD 22-8, subject to compliance with the Gilmore Associates review letter dated February 2nd, 2023, the Pannoni Associates review letter dated January 17, 2023, and the McMahon Associates review letter dated January 30th, 2023. It is also recommended that the requested waivers be granted, and approval is subject to 3 conditions. First condition is that there will be a memorandum of understanding in a form acceptable to the township solicitor and engineer, including the posting of any financial security that may be warranted. This shall include a stormwater management, maintenance, and operations agreement. The second contingency would be a fee in lieu of sidewalks in the amount of $4,855 based on the township engineer's calculation, and that would be paid prior to the building permit submission. And the third contingency is the applicant was responsible for obtaining any outside approvals that may be necessary, including but not limited to DEP, the Conservation District, PennDOT, and the Municipal Authority. Further approvals granted for submission of any documents that may be required as part of the sewage facilities planning. So my question, I guess, based on those conditions, is the applicant agreeable to those conditions?
Yes, those conditions would all be acceptable.
Good, okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion, Barry?
No, I would just say, I mean, actually, I lived in 2 streets over there for a couple of years down on Birch Avenue, and it's a wonderful neighborhood. I'm very pleased to hear that you're able to keep your family within the town, and so I think it's a very good opportunity for that. And I think, the development is not impacting and any of the surrounding neighbors in a negative way, so I vote to approve it.
Kim, any other comments?
I'd like to say that everything looks good to me, and I just want to say, as a grandmom, how wonderful to have your grandmom and grandpop right next door.
Bob?
I'll echo similar comments. I think the conditions seem reasonable. I think it's a great plan you have there. My parents live close to me. I think this might be a little too close for comfort, but I do wish you the best of luck. It seems like an everybody loves Raymond situation waiting to happen, but I do wish you luck, and I'm glad we could come to this resolution.
Well, I can't follow that. So all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Joe, I'm sorry, one second. Joe had a comment.
Just, the record should also reflect that deeds for the newly created lots will be submitted to the township for review and approval by the township solicitor and the township engineer, and those will be recorded in the office of the recorder of deeds before or at the time of the recording of the record plan.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Joe. Sorry about that. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thanks. Good luck.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Next order of business is to consider a resolution to update the Northampton Township Library Board bylaws. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As required by Article 8 of the existing bylaws of the Northampton Township Library Board, the board is to review the bylaws every 2 years, and the Library Board of Directors has done so and made recommendations. If I may make a motion?
Please.
I move to adopt Resolution R23-4 approving bylaws for the Northampton Township Library Board of Directors effective March 1, 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
None.
No?
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we go to our liaison reports. Kim?
Yes, first I'd like to talk about Parks and Rec. Calling all kids, Peter Cottontail is hiding somewhere in Northampton Township. Signs are displayed throughout the township at 10 locations with a secret word on each sign. Write the secret word down and take a picture of it. Collect all 10 words from each of the signs and unscramble them to make a sentence about the season. Once you know the secret message, email it by April 1st to be eligible for a prize. For complete details, visit www.northamptonrec.com. And speaking of the bunny, don't forget to register for the Bunny Hunt Egg Venture before it's too late. On Saturday, April 1st, the bunny will hop into the Wetzel Pavilion in the Municipal Park to enjoy a magic show, balloon art, and pictures with you. For complete details and to register, again, visit northamptonrec.com. Don't forget your Easter basket for a few surprises along the way. On March 16, 2023, at 6:30, at their regularly scheduled Parks and Rec Board meeting, a proposed master plan will be presented for the development of the 39-acre parcel located across from Municipal Park on Hatboro and Bristol Roads. The public is invited to attend to see the proposed plans. The spring-summer brochure will be in your mailboxes next week. Don't miss new classes, special events, and trips scheduled for this spring or our full menu of one-week specialty camps for your child this summer. We can't wait to see you. Finally, I'm pleased to announce that Northampton Township Parks and Recreation has just been notified that they are the recipients of the 2023 Excellence in Recreation Award for their hardworking making our year-long celebration of Northampton Township's 300th anniversary a truly unique experience. This 12-month celebration could not have been possible without the leadership and dedicated of our retired director, Nancy Opalka, and special events coordinator, Betty Satterley. Congratulations, Northampton Parks and Rec, on this well-deserved award. And I just want to say thank you to everyone on this board for dressing up like 300 years ago. We had an awful lot of fun, and it was great participation. I'm sure it helped them win their award.
I think it put it over the top.
It did, it did. Next, the Senior Center. Spring can't arrive early enough for our seniors. A lot of planning is going into a variety of fun and exciting activities for the months ahead. From exercise classes to book clubs, indoor cornhole to cars, there's something for everyone ages 55 or better. Make sure to mark your calendars for Friday, April 21st from 5 to 9. The seniors will be hosting their annual Spring Fling shopping event. There will be over 50 vendors selling a variety of handcrafted jewelry, scarves, totes, home decor, candles, clothing, and more. If anyone's interested in becoming a vendor, please contact the Senior Center at 215-357-8199 or an email to nhsc@northamptontownship.com. For more information about the center and all of the awesome activities that are offered, feel free to stop by for a tour. The center is located across from the library at 165 Township Road. The hours are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 to 3:30, and Tuesday and Thursdays from 9 to 8. And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Kim. As I mentioned, Paula isn't here tonight, but I think our Assistant Manager, Bill, has a quick library update.
Yes, thank you. On behalf of Supervisor Gasper, I'm pleased to report the Library Board Liaison Report for February 2023. On Saturday, March 11th at 1 p.m., Annie Holliday of the Mercer Museum is returning to the library to reprise her presentation from September, A Brief History of Northampton Township. Join us for a fascinating overview of Northampton Township's history. The program will cover early landowners, discuss the founding of our township, notable Northampton landmarks, historical figures, and even cover historical events such as the Wrightley murders. Also, the library is currently in the process of adding 8 new museum passes to our collection. With this, you will be able to visit museums and participate in a reservation system to better streamline the process of visiting area museums. To maintain the Commonwealth standards for our library, one of the requirements for each staff person who works 20 hours or more per week is to complete 6 hours of continuing education credits every 2 years. The director is happy to report that the staff is currently meeting all of these requirements. Lastly, our new reference librarian, Kathleen Loudon, will be adding a 4th staff-led book club called Talk About Your Shelf, where attendees will be able to share their content they're reading and what they're currently reading with other participants. This book club will not be the only one where everyone is reading the same title and they can come in together to discuss it. It is also our first foray into an evening scheduled book club for adults. The other 6 adult clubs hosted at or by the library are held during the day. That completes the library report.
Thank you, Bill. Next up, Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of items on behalf of the Municipal Authority. First, the authority was subject to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection Bureau of Safe Drinking Water inspection this month. It was performed over a 2-day period and inspected the authority's water system. This is an inspection that is performed roughly every 3 years. I'm happy to report that the results were received today, and it was noted there were no violations of the authority's system. The authority notes it's their #1 goal to provide safe drinking water to the customers, and I think the catastrophic events in Ohio within the last 3 weeks demonstrate how we take safe water for granted until we don't have it. So I'm pleased to report there were no violations. Also, as I had mentioned, I believe in last month's report, the authority is encouraging everyone to sign up for WaterSmart. You would do so by going to the website, www.nbcmatoday.org, and sign up for WaterSmart. It provides an online customer water use portal to help residents monitor water consumption while at home or away. This avoids costly leaks and also contributes to our water-saving goals in the township. You can track daily water usage, receive notifications when consumption exceeds the prior day's consumption by a volume threshold that you set, and can get bill forecast notifications and receive leak alert notifications. That's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Bob. Barry?
Yeah, a couple minor things. The Planning Commission did meet on February 14th. The applicant here tonight was presented, and at the meeting, and it was approved for its application. The zoning board also met on February 13th, and there was a minor residential appeal that was dealt with. On the planning commission going forward, there's going to be a subdivision proposal on Bridgestone Drive of a couple houses, and also the Roses subdivision is still in process, now before this board in the next month or so. Well, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Barry. I just have a couple quick things. I mentioned early in the meeting about the senseless killing of a law enforcement officer in Philadelphia. Just like everybody to know that Northampton Township is sending a contingent down to pay respects on behalf of Northampton Township to the funeral when that happens. Just one other point I just wanted to make. You heard from Paul Brady earlier. He came on his own. He asked if he could address the township, which I think was really a great step forward in really taking ownership of the trash collection in our town. And the amount of inquiries has drastically reduced. I think we've been able to satisfactorily resolve almost all of them. And I do want to do a little shout out for Lisa Russo, who's sitting in the back of the room. She probably single-handedly handled most of them, if not all of them, I don't know, to most everyone's satisfaction. So thank you, Lisa. Change is hard, so thanks everybody for your patience, but I think we're in quite a good groove from here on out. So that's all I have for tonight. Next up, manager's report.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Assistant manager?
Yes, just like to report that the next edition of the Township Newsletter will be hitting the streets this coming week, so look for it in your mailboxes.
That's great.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bill. Mr. Pizzo, solicitor's report?
No report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Engineer's report, Amanda?
No report tonight, thank you.
Very good. Is there any other public comment for the evening? So right before I end, I did forget one thing. I just want to really encourage everybody to sign up with Whitetail for the information. Put your email and/or phone number in. It is a really great way to get live information about anything that's happening with our waste pickup, especially delays. We seem to have made it through the winter without a lot of snow. But if there is a delay, that's it, right? I just did it. But if there is a delay, if you're signed up on the email server, you will hear about it. And special congratulations to our Park and Rec group for that great award. And just in honor of them, I did wear my 300th anniversary T-shirt, or shirt tonight, dress shirt tonight. So good for them. With no other business, the meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.